Um, I don't know what this means, but is Dr. Disrespect back? I'm not quite sure. We got a picture, which I'm about to show you here in a few seconds, that Dr. Disrespect had posted on his his Twitter page. I'm not quite sure what this man could do going forward because he lost a lot of his brand deals. YouTube shut his channel down with all the allegations and the truth behind it. Him talking to somebody that might have been younger. Some people are saying in the comments defamation lawsuit, and oh boy, we're gonna look at it right now. So with that being said, before we go any further, if you guys could do me a solid favor and subscribe to the YouTube channel by hitting that wiper icon down the bottom right, hit that bell icon next to it so I do post videos like this one. You guys will get that little ring notification that I posted that video, and then you guys can watch, comment, like, and share. Also, we are watching August the Duck. We've watched him before. Definitely very blunt, but very good at his job on YouTube. So make sure you guys go give him some love. Link is down in the description. Subscribe, comment, like, and share. And let's get into see what he says of Dr. Disrespect is back, and it's bad. So let's take a look. I am a little nervous watching this.
Really thought I was going to be making this video. Maybe I was just being naive, but I honestly thought that once you admit to the entire internet that you were having inappropriate conversations with a teenager as a fully grown man who's married with children, that your career is kinda done for. But unfortunately, as we have seen over the last couple of days, that is not the case because as a collective society, we have all gone fucking insane and literally everything has to be political now. It's awesome. Now, if you have no idea what I'm referring to, I'll stop being so cryptic. As many of you probably heard about, a little over a month ago at this point, the very popular streamer Dr. Disrespect admitted to the internet that the reason for his controversial Twitch ban was because he was messaging a teenager on the platform. This was
I think he might show you the picture. If he doesn't, I'll show you at the end of this video.
not a he said, she said situation. He admitted to all of this, even going as far to admitting that the conversations got inappropriate. Going forward, I'm going to assume that if you clicked on this video, you have a basic understanding of what went down. If you don't, and you want to learn, I know a guy who has a video that went pretty in-depth on the topic. That'll be in the top right corner if you want to check that out. But from here on out, I'm going to be assuming that you are familiar with the situation, which would mean you know that when this happened, it was a pretty big deal. It was a trending topic for days on basically every single social media platform. It's one of the few
It was pretty much a big, huge explosion of news until what's his name? When what was his name? Switch. I can't remember. Jinxie and the other guy. I'm having a brain fart. Not Stitch, Sketch. Holy cow, I need to go back to bed. That came up, and then the Trump attempted assassination, and then we just kind of got lost in the sauce with Dr. Disrespect. But looking at his numbers, they just keep honestly dwindling down. If you actually go to his real count, if you look right here, his numbers just keep going down. I mean, he's lost like 100,000 subscribers. His YouTube channel got turned off, and so forth. So it's definitely gonna be interesting as to what it means by Dr. Disrespect is back, but it's bad.
Influencer stories that managed to make it to real news stations. It was a huge deal. The guy was getting a ton of backlash and also quite a bit of support, but it was mostly negative, I feel, when this stuff was first hitting the news, and I feel like it kind of stayed that way until this whole Ava Kris Tyson situation started to get out. Now, if you don't know what I mean when I say that, basically, all you really need to know is that a member of the Mr. Beast team, who happens to be transgender, was outed for doing something similar to Dr. Disrespect, alongside other things that are arguably worse. This, in my opinion, is essentially what
I just stayed out of that. I didn't want to make videos about that. It's disgusting to say the least, but yeah.
allowed Dr. Disrespect to do what he did 2 days ago, which was return to the internet after about a month-long hiatus through a Twitter post which implies that he is playing chess while the internet is playing checkers. Now,
and he's made moves where we haven't made a move.
now this is what I want to focus on for the majority of this video, but first I want to address what I just said. If you heard what I just said and you are completely clueless as to why some random YouTuber being outed for a similar thing would change anything about this Dr. Disrespect situation, good for you. And I'm not saying that sarcastically. You are a person who has not been corrupted by the dog shit that is the internet in 2024. But I'll try to explain it as briefly as I can. Basically, when this whole Ava Kris Tyson situation was unfolding, a lot of big names on the internet were being accused of not talking about this situation because Ava Kris Tyson is a trans individual. I think the most notable, the two I saw the most of this surrounding, were Critical and Valkyrie. People were up in arms saying that these two and many other people were shitting on Dr. Disrespect, and now they're silent about Ava. And of course, since everything has to be political in 2024, these people were being accused of not talking about Ava because of them being trans. Now, is this true? Or is this not true? How the fuck would anybody know? I think it's crazy for people to act like they know that's what was going on. Now, I will say that I do feel like I noticed a difference in the reception of
what happened to streaming, playing video games, having fun with your friends, doing stupid things on the internet like building sky bases or trying to get to 35 kills in Warzone. Where did all this come from? Like, I became a YouTuber to make people smile and have enjoyment. And these guys are just, it's drama fest galore.
This information when it came to Dr. Disrespect versus Ava Kris Tyson. Do I think this difference was because Ava's trans? No, not really. I think it's because in the Dr. Disrespect situation, he came out and said, yeah, I did this. There was no doubt about it. The guy came out and said, this is what happened. Whereas with the Ava shit, it was a bunch of evidence that none of the people involved were directly addressing. So people just had to kind of make up their own conclusions. Were those conclusions hard to make up? No, they weren't. But I think that is the disconnect. I think it's a lot less about sexuality than people are making it, but that's really not super relevant. The only reason it's relevant is because I think this sort of shift in how people were looking at these situations took some of the heat off of Dr. Disrespect and almost made people rally behind him because people were like, oh, he just got crucified for doing this. Now all these big YouTubers are silent, which I don't think was the case. But if you say something enough on the internet, it eventually becomes the truth. And that's how we got here. Okay, that was a not so brief way of explaining something I said I was going to explain briefly, but that's kind of my style, I guess, so whatever. All of that is to set us up for talking about this tweet with the stupid fucking checker picture. So as of right now, this tweet is sitting at 110,000 likes. Keep in mind, this is the guy who was basically just ran off of the internet because he was talking to a teenager inappropriately. This would be like if EDP returned to the internet after going out to get some cupcakes and was receiving hundreds of thousands of likes. So I mean, that alone is strange, right? I mean, who are the 110,000 people who were like, hell yeah, brother, you're playing the fucking long game, 4D chess by talking to a kid. What a fucking guy. Like, what? It's weird. But it gets a whole lot weirder when you start to look at the replies. Now, here's the reply that has gone the most viral. It's a person who asks, is this you playing with a minor? And Dr. Disrespect hits her with the good one, she/her. The internet will never fix your real threat, depression. What the fuck does that even mean? Like, imagine being so stupid that you think you own somebody who called you out for messaging a kid by saying, haha, you've got pronouns in your bio, dude. Like, how insane do you have to be to think that means anything? 54,000 people liked this reply. That just goes to show the staggering amount of people who will back you no matter what you've done, as long as you say stupid shit like pronouns bad. Here's another weird one. Somebody asks him, did you at least increase the vertical leap? And he replies with, and got a tan too? Yeah, you're a real fucking baller, dude. You went on basically what was a forced vacation because the internet found out you like to message teenagers, and you're bragging about how you got a tan? What a cool guy. Here's the last one we'll look at. This guy replied with a picture that has a lot of words that I'm not even gonna risk
It's funny because I just read these before I made this video.
Showing on YouTube because things are getting finicky recently. But basically, it's calling Dr. Disrespect Dr. Diddler. And Dr. Disrespect replies with little brainwashed woke boy putting out Dragon Ball Z graphics with Kendrick Lamar lines. Got me big time. You're gonna have to take my word on this. There's nothing to do with Kendrick Lamar in this picture. Also, I think I'm gonna take quirked up white boy who's goated with the sauce out of my vocabulary and replace it with little brainwashed woke boy putting out Dragon Ball Z graphics. Also, can we just take a moment and really appreciate the optics of this situation? 31,000 people liked this tweet. A tweet which implies that calling somebody out for messaging a minor is brainwashed wokeism. Holy fuck, we've never been more cooked. I mean, when I see stuff like this, I am genuinely worried for what the climate is gonna look like in 10 years or so. I mean, seriously, if you're a younger person, and by that, I mean, if you've grown up with these last 4 or 5 years of the internet, so if you're like 15 or 16 probably, this might come as a shock, but there was a time on the internet, in my lifetime, my short lifetime, I'm only 22. I'm not much older than you if you're 16. There was a time where if you were the P word, which you can't say on YouTube for some stupid fucking reason, nobody liked you. Like, it didn't matter if you were right wing, it didn't matter if you were left wing, it didn't matter what political shit you associated with. If you liked kids, you were outed from society. Now, I'm talking specifically about the internet because I feel like in real life, this is obviously still the case. It's really easy to forget sometimes, but Twitter is not real life. Okay, oftentimes you'll find it's pretty far from it. So I'm not saying we've like fallen as a society, and if you go ask a random person what they think about a person messaging kids, they'll be like, yeah, that's awesome. But this new forming internet culture where it's really starting to seem like no matter what a person does, the people that align with them politically are still going to support them no matter what on both sides, is getting kind of scary. Like, really, if you think about what's happened over the last month or so, there shouldn't have been any drama. We've got 2 huge names on social media getting called out for doing the same thing, and for some reason, it turns into a war of politics. Instead of everyone just coming together and being like, hey, both of these people are massive weirdos for messaging kids and saying some of the stuff they've said, let's deplatform both of them and just forget about them. I mean, seriously, why is that not what happens? I mean, people are basically sitting here arguing, saying, our side's creep is less creepy than your side's creep. We win. Like, it's so transparent what's actually happening here. The people who spend all day arguing online about stuff like this don't actually care about the kids. They're not worried about the victims of stuff like this when it actually happens. They're only worried about how it reflects them. Their only concern is how it reflects their party, reflects their politics, reflects their...
I have a 13-year-old daughter, a 12-year-old, well, soon to be 12-year-old son, and an 11-year-old daughter. If anybody ever touched them or did anything with them, you're going to be in trouble. Just saying.
Their sexuality. I mean, seriously, that's what it seems like. Because on the internet in 2024, if one person does one thing, then whatever demographic they are part of is expected to prove that they are not doing the same thing as well. And that expands to a whole lot more than just...
I thought for sure Dr. Disrespect was going to be done. Like, I'm not putting my 2 cents in on this. I've already said that I don't support what he had done. I'm just like, when you watch like To Catch a Predator or whatever, those guys were caught. They thought their lives were over. I mean, they were. I mean, if you look at where they are now, they're not doing too good. But they put themselves in that position. They are the ones that chatted with the person inappropriately when they shouldn't have. They should have been out back mowing the lawn, spending time sipping iced tea with their wives. But instead, they're in the computer room spanking their monkey and watching and talking to children, which is disgusting to say the least. So when this happened with Dr. Disrespect, a lot of us, millions of us, thought he was done. Is this attempt to redeploy to come back to the streaming scene? Could be. Is anybody going to sponsor this man? I highly doubt it. YouTube is not going to work with him, so where is he going to go? Rumble? I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think? Comment your thoughts down below.
Just what we're talking about today. And look, like I said, I know that what's going on Twitter is not super reflective of what's happening in real life, but still, seeing stuff like this all the time is pretty disheartening as, you know, a human. I've said this before, and it's insane that I have to keep saying it. The fact that we are at a point where we're so divided on the internet that we can't even all come together and be like, hey, that creator is messaging kids, let's stop supporting them. The fact that that is not an agreeable stance anymore, it's never been more over.
Scary.
Well, guys, what do you think? Am I just a stupid idiot baby that can't understand the 4D chess that Dr. Disrespect is playing? No, I'm not. I'm gonna go ahead and answer that for you. To say I'm surprised Dr. Disrespect came back in this fashion would kind of be disingenuous.
I thought it was going to be more time. I thought he was going to wait until like after the summer or whatever. He was just going to take an extended vacation like he said he was going to. Forced vacation. I thought he was going to try to make a comeback on some other platform, Rumble. I don't know any other platforms that might be out there. Because YouTube doesn't want him. Twitch doesn't want him. I don't know about Kick. I don't really watch Kick at all anymore. Yeah, so it's going to be definitely interesting to see what's going to happen over the course of the next few weeks or months with Dr. Disrespect coming back.
I sort of expected something like this, but I also would not have been surprised whatsoever if the guy just never came back, and that's honestly what I sort of thought would actually happen.
Part of me thought he was done. He was going to retire early. He was going to take the amount of money that he's got, invest it, and just be by himself, but barely not.
I thought he would just cut his losses, be happy with the millions of dollars he's made, but no, he's got to come back, and I think it's gonna get really weird for him in the next few months. Like I said in my original video talking about this whole situation, the kind of audience you garner when you're unapologetically admitting that you're messaging teenagers, yeah, probably not one most people want. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and walk on over to that subscribe button and touch it. It's free. It won't cost you anything. But for now, that's all I have for you today. Bye.
So like you said, it's free to do, it's easy to do, and all you gotta do is hit that subscribe button at the bottom left, okay? Hit the like button next to it and the bell icon so when we do post videos like this. But for sure, for those people that do follow this situation that's been happening with Dr. Disrespect, I'm trying to make sure that I don't have any part of defamation with Dr. Disrespect, because who am I at a medium small channel of YouTube? So I just, like I've seen other YouTubers state that they will not support it. They will not play with him anymore. YouTube backed out. Twitch banned him. I don't know if he would go to Kick if they would allow him. Or Rumble. I thought he was done. So leave your guys' comments down below. I'd surely love to hear you guys' partake on this. Like you said, I mean, I wish we would just come together, blow him off, and just go on about our day. But everybody's got to have an opinion, and everybody's got to, or not everybody has an opinion, but everybody's got to, it's weird how it is now. It's not like how it used to be back in the day, like sticks and stones, like may break your bones, but words will never hurt you. Now you say boo and everybody's like, Asa! I mean, don't get me wrong, I've cried because of people saying hurtful things to myself. That's just who I am. I can't stop my emotions. But yeah, it's definitely gonna be interesting to see over the next couple weeks, months with this situation with Dr. Disrespect. Again, thank you guys for watching. Please take care, be safe, and as always, keep nerding on, and we will see you guys in the next video.